Today I am making a big batch of keto Irish stew. Hi, I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com. Before I get started with the Irish stew, I wanted to thank everyone for all your outpouring of well wishes, condolences. It's a little overwhelming to think about how many people sent messages and left comments. For those of you that don't know, if you missed the last video, or maybe today's your first time here, last week, I said in my video, I talked about, my relatives and my aunt who had just passed away. Well, one of the tasks that I was to do last week was to go see my mom in the nursing home and let her know about her sister. Well, before I could even get out the door, they called and she had passed away as well. Okay, well, that was hard to say. I didn't, Anyways, so it's been as you can imagine, it's been a rough week. And I need some comfort food, and I have the lamb already, and I'm trying to use up things in my freezer because I'm also moving. So I thought, well, what the heck, we'll just see what happens. Stew is pretty easy to make, and I love making it, and I love eating it, and St. Patrick's Day is coming. This is a good thing to make. So I started off thanking everyone, and I just sort of lost my way there for a moment, but thank you again for all your support. And if you are new here, things do get brighter, I promise. And just having a rough time right now, but I really enjoy making the videos, and it's a good distraction for me. I know a lot of people said, take some time off, you don't need to make videos, all that. I kind of do need to, because it helps me stay connected with people, and it's a good therapy as well. So I'm gonna keep making videos, but since I'm moving, there just won't be as many. But when I see a good opportunity to show you something that I enjoy and think you might enjoy, then I'll we'll do it. So that's what this is, Keto Irish Stew. So I'm going to go over everything that is in the stew. Some low carb vegetables, obviously, and lamb. I like lamb, and I think traditionally Irish stew is made with lamb. I have two types of lamb stew here. I have I wanted to weigh it too. I have a couple of, maybe about a pound of chopped up lamb leg. And this to me seems like about 2 pounds of lamb shoulder. I'm just gonna grab my scale because I kind of want to know. Okay, so that's a pound. And this one, almost 2 pounds. So we're close to 3 pounds of stewing meat here. I do prefer lamb shoulder for the stew, so I'm glad it's mostly lamb shoulder. The lamb leg, if I was making this the way I normally make it, which is in the Dutch oven, I don't use leg at all. I would only use shoulder because it doesn't get as tender as the shoulder. But I have packed my Dutch oven, so today I'm making it in the slow cooker. It'll have hours to get tender, so I'm good with using it today. I also want to mention, I have a printable recipe for Irish stew on my website. I will put that link below in the description. It will be a little different. I make these things different according to what I can get at the market and what I have in the fridge. So I was unable to get celery root. I do like to have celery root in the stew. I mean, traditionally it's potatoes for those of you who have made traditional Irish stew, but we're not doing potatoes because we're keto. So I use radishes, whole radishes, turnip, and rutabaga. and celery root. A lot of times I just skip this other stuff and I use all celery root. But today I couldn't find any when I went to the store, and so this is what I'm going to use. Garlic and an onion. I did find a few mushrooms in the fridge. I'm going to throw those in. I found some cherry tomatoes that were on their last legs. I'm going to throw those in. So I'm just going to chop up all these vegetables. I'm going to make smaller pieces of meat here because there's some big chunks in here. And then I'll see you in the next section when we're ready to put it all together. Okay, so I've got my chopped up rutabaga, turnips, my radishes I left whole. There's an onion with big chunks, 4 garlic cloves. I'm not sure if I'm going to put these tomatoes in. I'm feeling like I've got a lot of veggies now. Now I'm going to make the meat into smaller pieces, and where needed. And then I will take this meat over to the stove, brown it, and then I'll bring it back here and I'll show you what else is going in the stew. We'll see you in the next section. Okay, so I've got my meat. I browned it. I added about a tablespoon of kosher salt. I would have added some pepper. I couldn't find my white pepper though, so it's not going to have pepper. But I would have added about a half a teaspoon of pepper, I think, to that. And then, to taste. Later on, once everything is cooked, I will taste it and see what it needs. And maybe by then I'll have found my white pepper. So I've got my crock pot here, or slow cooker. I'm going to have it on low. It's got all day to cook. And I'm going to put everything in. So for liquid, I usually use some beef broth, and I don't have any, but I do have my beef bone broth powder. So I'll put a scoop. Let me see here. It says 8 ounces, 1 level scoop. I'll probably use 2 scoops in here. A couple of cups of water. And a can of Guinness. This is 440 mils. So I'm going to put the whole thing in. Carb-wise, I seem to remember, and I'll check this while this is all cooking. It's quite low in carbs. I think for the whole, I want to say 6 or 7 carbs for this. I might be off by a carb or 2, but then when you think about how many servings this whole thing is going to be, I have more meat than I normally put in. I mean, it's going to be a full crock pot, so it's going to make a lot of servings. You're probably going to add an extra carb per serving due to the beer. Now, it'll work without the beer, of course. You can, just use more beef broth or more water, whatever. It's a personal choice. I just think it kind of gives it a little more depth of flavor, makes it more traditional. So there you have it. Okay, so let's see what all I can fit in here. All right, so I'm just gonna dump this all in. I did keep some of the cooking liquid from my pan, and I'm gonna dump this in. All right, this is a full crock pot. Oh, I'm getting low. I better order some more of this. Oh, I might just have a scoop for making my buns that I wanted to make to go with this. Oh, water. So I'm gonna put the beer in first, get that in there. And if I need water, like I'll add some water to bring this, up to a level. And if whoa. Okay. I promise I didn't shake it.
Oh boy.
All right. Not sure what happened there, but okay. So if I do need more liquid later, I will top it up. But for now, this should be enough. So two cups of beef broth, 1 big can of Guinness Stout, and we're going to put the lid on this and let this go all day. These little radishes, I just wanted to mention, they will come out looking and, well, maybe not tasting like little potatoes, but they are really good in stew if you leave them whole. I just love doing that. Oh, and I wanted to say one more thing about the meat that I forgot to say before. Where I live here in Western Canada, it's not that easy to find stewing lamb. And so what I generally do, and that's the case for the lamb shoulder that's in here, I go to the butcher and I buy a whole roast, a lamb shoulder roast. It's usually boneless. And I just say, I'll take that roast and could you cut it up into stewing meat? And they're more than happy to do that. They have, you know, the equipment in the back there to do all that quickly. And yeah, so that's one of the things I like about going to, you know, having a local butcher to go to be able to get these things custom like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave this. I'm just going to find my lid, put it on, and we'll see you back here in a few hours when it's going to look completely amazing. So we'll see you in the next segment. Okay, hi, we're back. So it's been a few hours and we have Irish stew. So there's a couple things I have to tell you. When I went looking for the pepper that I said I was going to go look for, I never did find it, but I found some bay leaves. So I threw 2 bay leaves in here and I found some rosemary and I thought that would be good in lamb stew. So I put a teaspoon of dried rosemary in here. So the stew is ready. It's been about 8 hours. And the other thing I have to tell you is that I adapted this from the recipe on my website, which was in a Dutch oven. And what I didn't do, which I should have done and didn't think of, is I should have used less liquid. So there was too much liquid in here. When you've got the slow cooker with the lid on, all the liquid stays in, whereas when you're cooking something in the Dutch oven, you get a lot of evaporation. So there's a couple things you can do. You can turn your slow cooker on high with the lid off and let it takes about 2 or 3 hours that way to cook it off. And I didn't have 2 or 3 hours. So what I did was I scooped out about 2 cups worth of the liquid and I simmered it on the stove and made a little bit of gravy for some other meat that I am making for a different purpose. So all is not lost, but I just wanted to give you those 2 options for dealing with too much liquid in your crock pot. So let's have a look at this and give it a try. It looks very good. I'm not ready to eat yet, so I'm just gonna put a little bit in the dish here so you can see. I'm gonna get a couple of different veggies here. Okay, so you can see what we have here. So we've got, this is the rutabaga. I know I had a turnip in here somewhere, or maybe that was the turnip. It gets hard to tell after they've all been cooking. But these are the radishes. So those were bright red when they went in, and now they look like little mini potatoes, and they actually taste really good. So I'm just gonna try a piece of meat here. It just kind of melts in your mouth, and that's how I like it. So comfort food, good to feed a crowd. St. Patrick's Day is coming up, might be good to take to a potluck. Just, yeah, fill it with low-carb vegetables. You can serve this over cauliflower mash if you want. I made some caraway buns while I was waiting for this to cook. So that's what I'm gonna have it with. So, yeah. I appreciate you guys coming to check out this video, and I will see you next time. Take care. Hi everyone, today I'm going to make a big batch of, wow, that's very weird. My mom's clock, it never goes off. And here we are, what, weird.